The golden rule of exercise is to lift heavier in order to get stronger. We've known this for a very long time. But is it time to finally break this ingrained rule and modify the way we advise people to gain strength? Change is something that in the realm of fitness definitely doesn't happen. In addition, always perform your 3-hour cardio sessions on an empty stomach, drink your protein shake 15 minutes prior to working out, and eat 7 modest meals per day. In this video, we're going to examine a recent study that contends that increasing your 1 rep maximum can be accomplished not just from heavy lifting, but also by increasing your reps throughout training to help you get better. Hello, we are fitness friendly, and we create fitness and health films to support your pleasant gains. I gained some weight over the past few years as well, but I've finally started to lose it thanks to some good old exercise, eating plenty of salads, and getting enough protein. I'm overjoyed about it. All I got left to say is, kale. We adhere to a principle known as specificity when it comes to exercise progression of any kind. In order to improve a specific task, you must perform the specific task, which is the essence of specificity. For instance, if you want to run further, you must gradually cover longer distances. Push-ups must be performed more frequently over time if you want to perform more of them. Naturally, you must draw tasks with defined objectives if you want to accomplish getting larger muscles, too. Gaining strength is no exception. Thus, we now presume that lifting heavier necessitates training with increasingly heavy weights, an assumption that's widely supported by scientific literature. This new study, though, is intriguing because it has the potential to alter the way we think about specificity in the context of strength. So let's look at it. With this study, the researcher wants to compare the effects of progressing reps versus progressing load. It studies weight that you lift. Multiple muscle outcomes, including strength, development, endurance, and explosiveness, were measured by the researchers. We'll focus on the results for muscle strength and muscle growth in this video. 43 college-age volunteers with at least 1 year of training experience were divided at random into the reps or load groups for this 8-week trial. The exercises for the lower body were performed by the participants twice a week for a total of 4 sets, each taken to concentric failure. The reps group's objective was to increase the number of reps done in successive sessions while maintaining the same load, or weight lifted, throughout the trial, starting with a preset 8 to 12 rep range. The load group, on the other hand, aimed to maintain the initial 8 to 12 rep range while increasing the succeeding load. As we can see, the two groups have separate and obvious objectives, so perhaps we're also going to receive distinct and clear responses. First, both groups demonstrated comparable gains in 6 muscular locations assessed for muscle hypertrophy, or growth, 3 in the calf muscles and 3 in the quad muscles. Both groups noticed improvements in the rectus femoris, one of the additional 3 quad muscle locations. However, the reps group showed a little bit better improvement. Further investigation is required because the researchers don't know why this is the case outside of conjecture. But when all parameters are considered, performing more repetitions and using heavier weights appear to be equally effective ways to enhance muscle growth. Muscle power is the next topic. Muscular Power's back squat 1 rep maximums were used to gauge muscle strength. The reps group boosted their 1 rep max by, on average, roughly 20 kilos as a result. On average, the load group put on roughly 22 more kilograms weight. Although the results were closer than anticipated and the researchers questioned if the changes were even significant, there was a very modest 2 kilogram advantage to lifting heavier. Without ever lifting a weight heavier than where they started, though, that's a big jump in just 8 weeks. There's a catch, though. The participants performed free weight back squats during their workouts. However, when it came time for the testing, they used the Smith machine to perform back squats. Despite the fact that the 2 workouts are mechanically similar, anyone who has performed both will tell you that they feel significantly different. You won't be able to lift the same amount of weight with a Smith machine and a barbell, and they won't feel the same, especially when trying a 1 rep maximum. In other words, the conclusions are in dispute, since switching from free weights to a Smith machine violates the primary principle of specificity. Still, Smith or not, you don't unintentionally add 20 extra kilograms to your squat. There appears to be some advantage to increasing reps only. However, it will be wonderful to see future studies make use of testing that's pertinent to their education. So as a conclusion, what does this signify for you going ahead with your training then? Well, first off, keep in mind that in films like this, we're only looking at one study, and you should never let one study entirely influence your choices. The study, like other studies, has its limitations, including the fact that it only tested the lower body, applied it only to trained individuals, and again, in terms of specificity, did not require that the participants have any prior experience squatting. These drawbacks potentially skewed the results. When you combine that with the fact that scientific research continually demonstrates the link between strength growth and heavy lifting, there's only one thing we can do with this information: wait for more. Fortunately, though, if you want to try it out, it won't actually hurt you. Now, especially for beginners, if you're already making progress in your training, you shouldn't make any changes just yet. But if you're currently in a rut or would rather avoid performing a lot of strenuous 1 to 5 rep sets, well, consider trying rep progression. Really can't hurt. If it doesn't suit you, change it back. And then, of course, the only other option is to wait and see what happens. The data certainly appears promising, so maybe other studies will confirm or refute it, since we're not trying to be biased in this analysis. However, I would be delighted to learn of a fresh approach that could lead to the achievement of the fabled 2-plate deadlift. Hey, we all develop in different ways, okay? Anyway, please give this video multiple thumbs up if you liked it, and share it with your friends who are also into it. Follow for more, and as always, I want to thank you for watching, and remind you to eat some protein. And